Echoes is a film that I shot in East Greenland in 2010 over the course of 8 days. It was like a super quick production actually, because it was part of an exhibition that Iben Mundrup, amongst other, curated. It's called Guk. And it takes place on a little island in East Greenland, Gulusuk. Is a village, and it's about this couple who lived there and who fell in love like in the middle of like these huge big international kind of stories, which concerns an American like airport from the Second World War and radar station from the Cold War and like abandoned villages. I tried to work with like the structures and the colors of the landscape, and I try to describe Greenland in terms of more like graphically, instead of just like showing here's a mountain or here's a certain object, and then to more like work with, or like to more construct the films in terms of like this line fits with this line and this color goes nicely with this color and this sound adds to this sound. So yeah, describe Greenland from like a very personal perspective, more like how I feel it is. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I really wanted the language in the film to be English, because I wanted it to be also a portrayal of like an international scene, and also the world that I come from a little bit myself. And I went there with a crew from Berlin, and I wanted to see if I could make a soundtrack, record sounds in Greenland and then make them here in Berlin, and somehow try to make a parallel between minimal electronic music and Greenland, because in my head the two are not so far away from each other. The sound of like ice cracking and these kind of noises resembles quite easily what Carsten Nicolai or other artists here in Berlin would do. Yeah, and I think it's important, like especially when you work with Greenland, because there's so much about this like exoticism and also all this like ethno imaginary of Greenland, and I just somehow wanted to get away from that and combine different times and different thinking patterns. So for example, in the scene where Anna, where you hear the sound of her drumming, to then slowly take that into another kind of sound sphere. And also because the film deals a lot, with places that are now abandoned, I was really interested in seeing to what extent you can also tell that kind of story sound-wise, So that's why I wanted to work with recording equipment that could distract the sound from the object, and I just wanted to try to transmit the story from these objects into the viewer of the film.